My name is Anthony Reyes, and my presentation will be on asthma. So, what asthma is a condition in which your airways narrow and swell and produce extra mucus. Things that can happen to your body when you have asthma or an asthma attack is you can have spasms, you can have difficulty breathing, you can have wheezing or shortness of breath, and this usually happens due to an allergic reaction. Some things that can trigger it, like I said before, is an allergic reaction or allergy induced. So, for example, when there is a lot of pollen in the air, or you eat something that you are allergic to, it can cause an asthma attack. Also, while you're exercising, when you kind of push yourself a little too far past your limit, and you can have difficulty breathing. Also, an occupational reaction. Prevalence of the disease in the United States alone, there's about 25 million cases where people have asthma. And from babies to adults is very common to see someone with asthma. The biology of how this disease occurs, like I said before, it is a condition where the airways of the lungs narrow, which makes it difficult for you to breathe. And certain things that trigger asthma are airborne substances such as pollen, dust, and particles of cockroach waste in the air. Infections such as the common cold or flu. Air pollutants such as smoke, secondhand smoke or smoking yourself, or strong emotion and stress. So if you have asthma, you do not want to get too mad because consequences can be very deadly. Signs and symptoms of asthma. Asthma symptoms vary from person to person. Every person is different. You can have frequent attacks or you can have no attacks at all. It all depends on who you are as a person. Um, some symptoms include tightness or pain in the chest, shortness of breath, trouble sleeping due to the fact you cannot breathe, or you are coughing or wheezing too much at night, or whistling or wheezing, whistling or wheezing sound when you're exhaling. That is usually more common in children. Health consequences of asthma. Um, like I said before, asthma attacks can be life-threatening. You can die from asthma attack. And if your attacks or you're starting to get more attacks than usual, and they start to get worse, you want to talk to your doctor. You don't want to just try and figure this out on your own, because if you try and figure it out on your own, you start doing different things that you should not be doing or is not recommended by your doctor. You can get things like infections in your mouth. You can get spasms of the trachea. You can get increased pressure in the eye, which is also called glaucoma, or you can get clouding of the eyes, which is called cataract. Uh, some potential prevention strategies of this disease include avoiding any type of smoke, which means you should not be smoking if you have asthma, or you should try and avoid any secondhand smoke. Any smoke in general, you do not want it inside your body. Preventing any common cold or flu, just try not to get sick. Taking prescribed asthma medications by your doctor, making sure you're on top of that, and make sure you know what things trigger you personally. Like I said before, every person is different with asthma, so you have to figure out what triggers you personally and make sure you stay away from that. And lastly, allergy proof your home, so making sure there's not a lot of dust in your home, so you're not breathing that in, so it doesn't cause any attack, because like I said before, an attack can be deadly. How to treat asthma. Asthma is incurable, but you can definitely control it. Every person is different, so whatever your doctor prescribes to you is what you should be doing. But the most common one that you see a lot of people with asthma use is an inhaler. An inhaler is a plastic mouthpiece used to inhale medicine directly into the lungs. Next thing you would see people use is a nebulizer, which is a machine that takes liquid medicine and turns it into a mist that you inhale. The last thing you can use is inhaled corticosteroid, which is a medicine you can take that prevents any swelling of the airway. The mortality and morbidity rates of this disease, the mortality rate of asthma is an estimated 250,000 people who die prematurely due to asthma worldwide. And the CDC estimate that about 9 people in the US die every single day from asthma attack, which is sad to hear. The morbidity rate of asthma um, from 2001 to 2016, asthma attacks have decreased from 61.7% to 53.7%. Lastly, some additional facts about asthma is it costs the United States more than $50 billion every year in healthcare costs. In children, boys are more likely to develop asthma than girls, but in adults, women are more likely to develop asthma than men. And lastly, asthma is the cause for children missing more than 10 million school days a year. A lot of school days. All right. Thank you.